I'm Meredith Holmgren. I'm the curator of American women's music at the Smithsonian, and I'm the curator of Music HerStory, Women in Music of Social Change, which is an exhibition that's open in the Smithsonian Library's gallery at the National Museum of American History through February of 2024. The overarching message of the exhibition is largely celebratory. We're showing that women have made incredible contributions to the history of music and social change. And the exhibition is broken down into about 4 thematic categories. Tradition bearers, where we look at traditional music, nursery rhymes, lullabies, other types of ways that women have held traditions and perpetuated traditions throughout history. Then we have another section, groundbreakers, where we're looking at innovation. These could be composers, instrumentalists, other ways that women have really broken ground, sometimes first in their field. The biggest section is change makers, and this is a more explicitly political section where we look at political change in American life. It could be anything from the civil rights movement to the women's suffrage movement, temperance movement, to the labor movement, to the other movements in between. He says, I know you'll always be a lady. It's the duty of my darling to love me all her life. Could an engineer look after or obey me? Remember, dear, that you're my wife. Well, as soon as Jimmy got a job, I began again, then happy at me till it lay the last section is music industry professionals. So we're not just recognizing the role of women performers and musicians, but we're also looking at behind the scenes. So women in the music industry, audio engineers, record label owners, music magazine publishers.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. The brothers doing dance. Everyone has a story about children's music and nursery rhymes and their own history, and we want to make those connections with visitors in the gallery. Nursery rhymes and lullabies are some of the first music we will hear upon entering the world, and yet it's given very little attention in the historic musical canon of music scholarship. It is an area that has been largely dominated by women, so we wanted to make sure that people encountered this very early in the exhibition. Within the Changemakers section, we look at several different political movements, one of which is the civil rights movement. And here, women made incredible contributions to the civil rights cause through musical expression. In the 1990s, the riot girl punk movement really took off in the United States. And this created new networks and movements and media aimed at supporting young women and girls in music and beyond. The riot girl punk movement blended music, artistry, zine creation, self-expression, and feminism as core elements of the movement. We have legendary bands like Bikini Kill or Sleater-Kinney who really put women's issues first and sang from a feminist perspective.
I'm Evan Keeling, an exhibit specialist and comic artist with Smithsonian Exhibits. I've also been collecting and creating zines for years. The great thing about them is it's mostly just something that you can produce yourself. A lot of the early zine creators would sneak the copy machine at a place they were interning or their parents' office. The brilliance of them is just about anybody could do them. Anybody can create it. If you have ideas, you could put it together. People would learn rudimentary design skills by doing paste ups, cutting out things from old magazines. And that's what I love doing with these. And that's why I love these little ones I do workshops at the Smithsonian, largely with this design, because it's just an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. To reproduce it, all you have to do is just make a copy of one side of it and then fold it up, and it's real easy to share. And that's what I spend a lot of my workshops talking about, is the idea that anybody can create this content. Anybody can write an article for a zine and produce it themselves. And this sort of culture really helped make it so that everybody felt that they could. And I mean, I've seen zines that were activity books. I've seen zines that were poetry, very specific musings on old TV shows, or zines about making zines. I mean, it's such a broad spectrum of possibilities with it. It really helps people who might feel that they are voiceless have a voice and share that with people really easily.
I'm Sarah Cardello, and I'm the head of education for Smithsonian Libraries and Archives. And I can speak for all of us when I say I'm super excited for you to see this exhibit, be it on our website or in person. The website is a wonderful landing page to explore all of the details that we spoke about today in the exhibit and more. You'll see the playlist that has tons of songs curated for you to experience the exhibit more richly. And there will also be opportunities for you to explore what educational resources we have linked to the exhibit, as well as upcoming events such as zine making workshops. We can't wait for you to come in person and explore the space as well. Again, it's located within the National Museum of American History. It's the Smithsonian Libraries and Archives Gallery, and it's Music HerStory. Come on by.